What you do with your body affects your brain. And what you think with your brain also has an effect on the physiology of your body. It works both ways.
The bubble bath your brain needs.
Every single time you move your body, including when you're running, you are giving your brain what I like to call a wonderful bubble bath of neurochemicals. Those neurochemicals include dopamine, serotonin, noradrenaline, endorphins. And that cocktail of neurochemicals is what is giving the runners their runner's high. We know that endorphins do play a really big part of that. But here's the good news. You don't have to be a marathon runner to get this. In fact, we know that even 10 minutes of walking can significantly improve your mood state, decreasing depression and anxiety levels and improving positive mood states as well. So that's where the runner's high gets us to. And it's one of the most powerful things that you can do for your brain today. Let me dive into that neurochemical bubble bath because it's really the key to understanding exactly how exercise is affecting our brains. So I mentioned several ingredients in that bubble bath. That includes dopamine and serotonin and noradrenaline and endorphins. And that's really key to the mood boosting effects of exercise. But it also includes what's called growth factors. Several different growth factors get released with movement. And that is going towards the long-term effects of exercise that can actually help grow and strengthen two key brain areas. One is the hippocampus, critical for long-term memory. And the second is the prefrontal cortex, critical for your ability to shift and focus attention. So how do we understand this? Every single time you move your body, you are releasing at least a part of that bubble bath. And that helps us understand how only 10 minutes of walking can improve our mood, decrease depression, decrease anxiety. And as you go up the activity scale to aerobic running, and everything in between, you are getting those mood effects. Why? Because you have higher levels of dopamine and serotonin. But that's just the short-term effects. What about long-term effects? What if you give your brain a bubble bath on a regular basis for a week or a month or several years? That's when those growth factors kick in. And what do the growth factors do? We know that the growth factors go directly to your hippocampus. The hippocampus is an extraordinary structure because it is one of the only human brain areas that can grow brand new brain cells in adulthood. And those growth factors help the hippocampus grow shiny new hippocampal cells. And what does that mean? Your memory is better. So that is what you get with long-term memory. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention that the other brain area that benefits in terms of growth and strength is the prefrontal cortex. Now, it's not growing new cells. Some evidence suggests that the outputs of cells in the prefrontal cortex, called the axons of those cells, perform better, work better with more exercise. They say that, for example, Serena Williams has really, really well insulated axons in her prefrontal cortex because of all of that amazing tennis that she's played for a long time. But those are some of the both immediate and long-term changes that you get with exercise that start with that neurochemical bubble bath. People often ask me, what is the brain-body connection? And it is the simple physiological idea. And so we've talked about moving your body, creating this neurochemical bubble bath that improves your mood and can grow hippocampal brain cells. That's the body to brain connection. What about the other way? One of my favorite forms of exercise that I take and I teach is a form of exercise called Intensati that pairs physical movements from dance and kickbox and martial arts with positive spoken affirmations. It was developed by an amazing fitness instructor named Patricia Moreno. And there you are giving your brain this bubble bath, but at the same time, each movement is paired with a positive thought. For example, when you punch back and forth, we say, I am strong now. And imagine a class where the whole class is different moves with different positive affirmations. I can tell you that the first time I took this class, I walked out of that class feeling strong. I felt like Wonder Woman, Supergirl, all rolled up in one. Because what you think and what you state verbally is what you start to believe. And that is why this particular workout is so powerful. It is taking full advantage of that mind-body connection that we've all heard about. That's a way to take full advantage of it. Be more broad in your definition of bringing more movement into your life. So people always tell me, you are so good at motivating people to exercise, but then after I listen to your talk, I just go back home and sit on the couch and watch Netflix. What should I do? Motivation is a key. And here's what I found in my own life as I transition from that unbalanced, unhappy, pre-tenure faculty member that I was to a much more active faculty member. I started small. And I started with things that I already enjoyed, which for me was dance. I remember when I joined the gym, I decided I wanted to be more active. And like many people, I joined the gym and I went to a hip hop dance class. Okay, I love dance. I'm a terrible hip hop dancer. And I remember coming out of that class saying, oh God, that was embarrassing, but still fun. I enjoyed doing it. So my motivational tip for everybody is start small and start with things you already know you like. If you hate running, don't run. You don't have to run. Or start practically. One of the things I did over the pandemic is I turned my weekly cleaning session into an exercise session. Have you ever seen that movie, Mrs. Doubtfire? Have you ever tried to do that choreography that Robin Williams did with the vacuum cleaner? It is hard. It is a great aerobic workout. And if you bring that play and that joy to even scrubbing the bathtub, it makes it more fun. It makes it more enjoyable and more aerobic. The other question everybody asks me at the end of my talks is, that sounds great. I want a neurochemical bubble bath. But I really want you to tell me what is the least amount of movement that I have to do to get that neurochemical bubble bath. And here is the answer based on actual scientific studies. And that is, we know that as little as 10 minutes of walking can improve your mood. That is getting that bubble bath with the dopamine, serotonin, endorphins going. Anybody can do that. You don't even have to change into your spandex. Go for a walk. You don't have to change your shoes. Everybody can do that wherever you live in this world, in this country. And so that is the minimum. But I love this. Start small, everybody can walk, and then just add on. Can you walk a little bit more? Can you park a little bit farther away? Can you do another round of shopping with the big cart in Costco? That's a great way to get exercise as well. For example, make it fun, practical. Oh, include your friends as well. I went to hip hop. I didn't go to hip hop dance class. I went to dance class and found friends that I went to dance class with that made it even more enjoyable, even more motivating. I certainly check goals and at the beginning of the year, everybody wants to have their, beginning of the year goals. I think those are, they tend to be bound for failure. And I instead of at the beginning of the year, put all this pressure, I like to set smaller goals for myself, doable goals.